Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new, my name's Brie or BweBoo, and I do a bunch of Sims speed builds on this YouTube channel, but I am also a Twitch streamer. I am a lover of Sims and also a lover of CC, and today we are actually building a CC house. Now usually on my YouTube and on my gallery I don't upload anything with CC because it makes it easier for anybody and everybody to download and play with the builds. But I recently got introduced to a Peacemaker pack that I am actually obsessed with, and it is very true to home for me. If you guys haven't already picked up on it, it is the Arcadia build pack by Peacemaker, and it is inspired by 90s Australian modern homes. Now to me, it's not necessarily super 90s. I feel like this style of build and this style of home and architecture is definitely coming back into very, very much popularity when it comes to Australian new build homes. And I'm very excited to be building with this pack today and figuring out all of the different bits and where it belongs and how it fits in with regular style builds. I've used a couple of other Peacemaker packs as well, and they are all listed down below, and we'll also go through them a little bit as they pop up during the video. So stick around and check that description if you're interested in any of the pieces that you see today. So I'm currently just doing the outside of the house, getting that base layer going. I actually used a floor plan for inspiration for this build, specifically the front of the house. The back of the house is a little bit different, and I've kind of reworked that a little bit as you've seen in the video. But I sort of based it off of a new build home to the most part to try and fit with that aesthetic of the pack. This pack is stunning. I am obsessed with it. I haven't used it a lot in my gameplays, but you might have seen a couple of pieces here and there during my live streams, either playing just regular Sims or doing my 100 baby challenge, which I'm currently doing at the moment. And I've been so happy with this pack. I think it's just a nostalgia for me, specifically knowing that this pack is inspired by somewhere that is close to me, and specifically these homes look like homes around where I live, is really, really cool, and I'm really obsessed with it. As you just saw, the roofing took me forever to figure out, especially that top bit. I was trying to base it off of the original inspiration that I was using for this floor plan, and it just wasn't working. Obviously, real life houses work very differently roofing wise to The Sims, and so I got really stuck with it. So I ended up just doing a very basic roof. I didn't want to overdo it too much because obviously there's just so many working parts with it that I think if I overdid it, it just wouldn't work. I'm now doing the front of this lot here, keeping it very basic for the most part, sort of keeping theme to what a house might look like at the front in a stereotypical neighborhood in Australia, but obviously still keeping it to the sort of Sims vibe that is, you won't be able to obviously use gates and things like that to keep people out, and obviously fencing isn't really a thing in like the Sims world as well, so that is another sort of factor that I wanted to just include and have like a little bit of a private space, but also not much. Here is the first introduction to the pack. That is one of the doors and the window types, and also those sort of flat, I don't even know what they are. It's like a privacy screen, but I'm not exactly sure what it's called, like the actual object itself. But essentially it's meant to be to keep out sunlight or daylight at a particular time of day. So in The Sims and also just in real life, these are used a lot in living spaces or kitchens, because depending on if you're south facing, north facing, whether the rooms get sunlight during the day or during like the morning or afternoon, those are really good for like blocking out sunlight at those particular times. But it's also really good for privacy too, if you are really close to your neighbors or your house is really close to like a major intersection or something like that. I think that they work really well in those instances too. And obviously in The Sims, I'm more using them as like a substitute for curtains, because I don't really like to do curtains too much, but that's sort of the vibe that I was going with. But obviously in real life, they're used more for sunlight than for privacy. So here is the inside floor plan. I struggled a lot with trying to figure this out. I wasn't going too heavily on the floor plan of the original inspiration, just because it wasn't very good. I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't very good. And I wanted to try and fit as many rooms as possible in this house because it was such a large house. This staircase gave me so much grief. I actually cut out a lot of this, you can't tell because my editing skills are amazing, but I spent very long and embarrassing amount of time trying to figure this out. This isn't even the final form. You think that I'm moving on to windows. I end up changing that whole area. Not a lot, but enough for it to be a lot different. I think this happens very soon, very shortly. I realize this is just not working. This is not what I want to do. So then I decide to do that, do a little like cutout kind of bit, and I think it's really good. The roof line doesn't change, but it's just kind of cute and adds a little bit of extra dimension to that flat wall as well, and then the stairs as well. I am obsessed with this pack, like actually obsessed. The windows, gorgeous. I love how you can make them go like around corners, the way that this pack is just like that. See? Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I could literally use this pack in every single one of my Sims builds. I'm very much, usually with my build style, if you've ever seen me build before or watched any of my other speed builds, specifically my modern builds, I'm very white and light tone woods, but I really wanted to do something slightly different to showcase the amazing design colors in this pack, and specifically as well a few packs that I've also used within this build furniture wise also complement really well with the colors. Peacemaker does a really good job with keeping all of the color schemes just seamless throughout every single pack and every single downloadable CC that they have, and it's just amazing and I'm so obsessed with it. Definitely one of my favorite CC creators. I have a lot of their stuff, and you might see it at the bottom there when I'm sort of scrolling. You'll see a lot of their stuff, which yeah, obviously this pack takes up a lot with windows and doors, but you'll see it when we start to clutter and everything like that, that it's just, there's a lot. I have a lot, but I'm obsessed. Literally every single one of my gameplay builds probably has at least 10 items, if not more. But I love it. It's just so amazing, and it's so like not nostalgic because I've never lived in a home like this, but I think just brings back sort of memories, and then also sort of ignites that excitement for potentially my future and like what my future house is going to be when I move out of home, and if I'm building a home. Like this is definitely like one of my dream home ideas, and I was super excited to use this pack and build with it. As you can see, I'm adding in those slats to a few windows. Some of these windows as well, as you can see, have open options, which I really like. So I've used a couple of those sort of randomly throughout the space, sort of thinking, oh, well, you know, some windows would be open, some might not be. So just sort of keeping that to theme. This is the open plan kitchen dining space, and I've also put like a little butler's pantry in there as well, just to try and like break up the area a little bit. It was a very large room and I was very overwhelmed with how much space I had. So I thought if I put that there, then at least it sort of gives a little bit of like a hallway effect into that main area. And then from there, it sort of opens up again. So I kind of like that. I liked that I did that. Also a big outdoor area as well at the back. I ended up actually building on the 40 by 20 lot in Newcrest. And I've been seeing a lot of TikToks and Twitter posts about how this lot is so not usable and nobody ever builds on it, and who else, what do you build on this lot, because I have no idea. I have constantly used this block of land in a lot of my builds. Some of them I've published on YouTube, some of them I haven't, for like consecutively 6 to 12 months now. I love this like area because you can put the house right in the middle of the lot and still have enough space at the front and the back to do a lot of landscaping or a lot of outdoor entertainment spaces, and I just love it. To me, this style of block, this skinny long block, is very normal here, because here originally all of the blocks were really really wide and really large, and maybe like 3 blocks worth of homes, where now people are splitting the blocks, like knocking down the houses and splitting the blocks, and now they're literally this size. So we have to build houses on this size block in real life. So to me, it's almost like natural. I see this all the time. I walk through my neighborhood and this is the size block. So I don't know, to all of the simmers out there that get really scared about this block in Newcrest, I say just go for it. Find a floor plan that is a little bit, you know, on the skinnier side. And whether it's only 1 level or 2 levels, I think that doesn't really matter. But for me, I find this lot to actually be really, really helpful with my building as well, because I'm also going out of my comfort zone a little bit with it. But also I'm comfortable with it because I see it all the time. So there's that. You just saw before in the outdoor space that there is a new sort of pack that I've introduced, a Peacemaker pack that I've introduced to the build for that area. It is the Creta indoor and outdoor kitchen pack. It is amazing. I love that pack. I use it a lot in this build and also just in general. It's a really nice pack. I actually downloaded it for this specific build as well, and I'm very happy that I did. It fits really well with the Arcadia pack as well, as you can see with the colors, but just in general, it's just such a nice, like, modern yet almost like a boho vibe, which, to be fair, is very Peacemaker. A lot of Peacemaker's stuff is very modern, contemporary, but also does have that element of boho. And I love it. I'm really obsessed with it. It's giving Bali holiday, but in like a modern villa, I think. And if anybody who understands that, you know, the girls that know will know, you know? But yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm really happy with it. So I'm doing that same thing with the lattice roof and side panels for this section here, which is going to be, originally was going to be a seating area, but I end up changing it to like a hot tub space because I wanted to do a rattan pack that Peacemaker has, but then I thought that I was adding too many packs, like opposing packs into it. So then I decided to get rid of this pack altogether so it's not happening, like it's not found in the pack anymore. And I ended up just going back to doing like base game / EA pack objects just to like help you out, I guess, because I know some people don't like CC and I totally understand that. But this is a CC build. So if you've gotten this far and you don't like CC, I hope I've convinced you to like CC because it's really versatile and it's free. And if you're downloading CC that isn't free, I think you're wasting your money. No offense, but you know, there's some great mods out there that you could potentially pay for, but I personally think that you should just wait for it to be free because it's great and the creators are amazing. So yes, this seating here that I end up moving to the back area, like the, what is it called? Veranda? Porch? Whatever you want to call it. That is the Kallah seating. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but it's a sectional and a chassis and it's just on its own. Again, all of the names are going to be in the description so you guys can find it if you want. But yeah, I ended up moving that to that little like weird nook space on the edge of the back patio area because I thought it worked better there, and then I put a hot tub under that bit. But yeah, I kind of go all over the place with this build. I start inside and then I quickly, swiftly move outside doing all of the outdoor like entertaining furniture, and then I suddenly move to landscaping. So now we're landscaping. Very weird order for me. I normally start with landscaping, but I think I just really wanted to use the packs that I downloaded. So I was a bit excited, and then I realized, should probably put some landscaping in so I know where to put everything. So yes, just simple, super simple landscaping, my usual kind of style. Fits very well with like the modern contemporary style of just being super minimalist and having a little bit here and there, but nothing too crazy. I'm really obsessed with that at the moment. Just super simple colors, super simple, you know, tones, and using pretty much the same plant throughout the whole build, but obviously then just changing the size of it and stuff to like make a little bit of diversity there. So yeah, I'm very happy with this build and the landscaping of it. Super simple, but again, it's just my usual kind of landscaping vibe. So if you've seen, again, my builds before, you would know that this is very stereotypical of me. And then yeah, we go back to just furnishing. I think that's it for the landscaping. As you can see, I moved that couch over because I just thought it worked better there. And then I really wanted to put the hot tub in, so I was like, let's put the hot tub in. And then just doing the rest of the outdoor area. I didn't really add too much more, just some little detail bits, but wanted to keep it quite open because I like to do that in my builds a lot, where I might leave like a room unfurnished or certain rooms not super decorated, just enough for it to be like livable. But I like it when people download my builds and then they change it. I kind of like that. I know some people don't enjoy doing that with their builds because they want people to like enjoy how they've styled it, but honestly, I couldn't care less. If you just want to use this build just purely for the shell, go right ahead. I say do what you love in The Sims. It's a game for everybody, and it's a game, no matter what, you can play it how you want to play it. And I think that's great. So yes, that's sort of why sometimes areas are really empty, or you might notice that they might be a little bit empty. That is why. But yeah, we're gonna move into the inside, just figuring out again where everything's going, making sure I like the floor plan enough to keep it, because obviously once I start furnishing, I don't want to change that. So yeah, just like fixing up any little bits that I noticed went astray, and then just adding in some extra little bits and bobs to the build. And then we're gonna move on to the inside, which I'm super obsessed with. Obviously, again, the Arcadia pack itself is just, what am I trying to say? It's just flooring. No flooring. I'm looking at flooring right now, but it's not flooring. It's just windows and doors and those like little louver things. And like the entryway, what are they called? I can't think of them. You know what I mean though. They're like hallway things. Archways? They're not archways. Well, they're not arched, but you know what I mean. Those things, that thing right there. That's the only part of the pack. The rest of the stuff in these packs, or in this build is either EA packs or part of other sets. And again, the only sets that I've used is actually the Creta indoor-outdoor, is it Creta indoor-outdoor kitchen pack, and then that Kallah seating, which is a sectional and chassis. And then I've also used a Phumo seating, which is sectional and chassis as well, for the sectional in the lounge room, which we'll see a little bit later. So again, all of the other stuff in the pack is either base game or just some sort of pack. As always in my speed builds, I always put down all of the details of the build in the description. So the lot size, the amount, what it is, like if it's residential or a particular lot type. And then also I put down any of the packs that's in it as well. So I put any expansion packs, stuff packs, game packs, and also any kits that I use as well. And obviously most of the time it is all no CC, but this one obviously has a little bit of CC. But again, I think it's enough for potentially someone who has never really worked with CC before. I think it works really well. I think if you want to sort of start your journey with CC, I would definitely recommend starting with a few of the packs that I've used in this build because they work really well together. But just also any of Peacemaker's stuff is amazing. And again, all of the colors fit in really well together. So even if you download a couple of the pack sets or, you know, individual items, it's still gonna work together, which I really, really love. I think that's what I love so much about this creator, is that they do their color swatching and color matching really well. So yes, this is the kitchen and the dining room all done, or almost all done. Just doing a little bit of clutter now. And yeah, I kind of go between the rooms. I kind of go a bit randomly between the bedrooms, lounge room, living space. Again, I don't really know why I do that. I sort of noticed it like almost at the end of this build and went, why have I done this in such a weird order? Because normally I do all of the bathrooms first and I do all of the like living spaces first, but I've just skipped over the living room entirely and just gone to this like teen tween room at the front of the house. So yeah, I'm not really sure why I did that, but we're here and I decided to move on to this. Again, this is like a teen tween sort of room, kind of messy, kind of not, bunk bed with the desk underneath. Like, I'd sort of think maybe like young high schooler maybe, not like a senior, but also not like a junior. Originally, I was thinking this would be more of like a kid's room, but then I kind of moved to more like a tween kind of room where maybe they still do have toys that they play with, but for the most part it is a little bit more like modern and nicer, I guess. So that's kind of the vibe. Again, if you download this pack or this build and you see this room and you go, I don't want this to be this, then obviously you can just delete everything I've put down. But yes, I don't mind. I don't mind if that happens. But yeah, I'm happy with that front. I was like, it's at the front of the house. Maybe I should put curtains here. So I just grabbed these curtains. I love them. They're still wide enough so natural light gets into the room. It's great. It's great. And then see, I go to the bathroom and I'm not really sure why. I don't know why I do this. Normally I just do like every single room type all together, but instead here we are doing the bathroom. I also think that mirror is not even, now that I'm looking back at this, and that is really annoying, and I don't remember if I fix it or not. I've been really loving walk-in showers recently. I have a lot of CC for it, but obviously I didn't want to add it in because that's too much CC creators in one. So I did the cheeky old window hack, and I love it. It works really well. So I think I did this in 2 of the rooms, but I definitely did it in this one, and I just love it. It adds a little bit, it's like a space filler as well. So if you have either the not eco lifestyle, it's the university pack and the snowy escape packs. They have these like wall showers with no walls around them, like it's not like an inbuilt shower. And they work really well for sort of freestanding walk-in showers. So if you've never used it before, I would highly recommend because it works really well. And yeah, now we're back at the living area. So again, I really don't know why I did this to myself, but I did, and it's here. But yeah, here is that couch sectional that I was talking about. So this is like a separate sort of item. I don't think it came in any of the packs. I couldn't find if it came in a pack, but the name of it is Phumo seating, or it's called Phumo. That's like the name of all of the couches and stuff. So it's got sectionals and chassis. So I think you do need to have the Dream Home Decorator pack for these sectionals to actually work, because I think that's what the item that they base it off of. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But yes, I really enjoy using sectionals in builds, especially because you can get a lot more out of the room, to me, than doing like a 2-seater and a 3-seater couch. Just my opinion, but I really prefer to use it. And then yeah, we're just like decorating the hallway spaces you saw downstairs, just a little seating area, and then upstairs a little like reading nook almost. I don't really know what came over me with this space, but I was like, this is a random hallway, let's just put a massive bookshelf in it. And it works well. This room is quite small, as you can see across the hall, so I think I ended up doing a study in that, but it could be like a nursery or a toddler room or something. It's just a very small bedroom, so I'd feel kind of bad if there was an actual sim that's larger than an infant in there, or larger than a toddler. So yeah, I think I ended up making like a small cozy study, and it works really well. This is the master bedroom upstairs overlooking the back of the house, and I'm quite obsessed with it. I like the layout of it, and I also like what I ended up doing with this colours. As I said before, I'm usually very light tone woods and you know, lots of bright colours, whites, sort of creams, but very like neutral beige mum kind of vibes. But I went very dark and moody because of the flooring and the windows in this pack, and sort of worked with that a little bit with this room. I struggled with this end section though. I think I probably should have done the windows a little bit differently and maybe flipped this whole room around, but I didn't think about it and I couldn't really be bothered, I think, at the time to work that out. So we just worked with this. It works out. It looks really good. I like it. It's not the worst bedroom that I've done, but it's definitely got a lot of open space. But again, you can always flip it around if you feel like it. I think it just works with the way that I had the windows, so that's kind of sort of what I ended up going with. And yeah, just like little bits of clutter, keeping the theme of the colors going. And yeah, just again, sort of keeping the packs to a minimum to a point. But obviously because we've used CC, really anything's possible. And I'm assuming if you've got CC, you've at least got most of the packs as well, because I feel like people do that. But yeah, very green, very brown, little bits of pops of white to keep it nice and bright. And I'm really obsessed with it. I ended up choosing similar color scheme for the study in here. So it's pretty much the same color scheme as the bedroom. It's literally using that sort of pre-made room. I do that a lot. You'll see it a lot in a lot of my builds is I get like creative block and I don't want to be repeating a lot of what I've already done. So here I am literally filtering through all of the pre-made ones and I'm going, what color, like I use them all for like color schemes and stuff. Like how do I want to set this out? And I use some items, not all. A lot of the time I use a lot of the clutter items in those preset packs, but it's great. I feel like don't shy away from using those presets because they are actually really helpful. I've been playing The Sims for a very long time and I still use those preset rooms on the, you know, every now and again. Not relying on them, but using them enough to a point where I'm happy with the build and there's just a couple of rooms where I need a little bit of extra assistance because I've been building for 3 hours, so I need a little bit of extra help, especially with styling. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. I know some people get a little bit iffy about it, but I say do what makes you happy. And if using the same things over and over again and using preset rooms makes you happy, then do it. That's my advice for today. I think I've already said a lot of advice in this video. Most of it being just do what makes you happy, and I think that's very important. So again, I'm going back to those preset rooms and I'm taking a lot of inspiration from them. I'm changing the colors a little bit, but this is like almost like a second master. To me, it would be like a teen room or like maybe an older, like this might be an older couple and then they have their kids living there, so it's like a teen and then maybe like a young adult. I sort of realized that the room was giving very much like second master bedroom, so I wanted to change that. And yeah, here's the final build. I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna leave you with some screenshots that I took of the inside. And yeah, like, subscribe, and check out my Twitch as well. I'm live 3 to 4 days a week. I hope to see you there. And have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.